What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles and keep you informed on what's going on. And it's not so latest anymore since I messed up this morning. Well, I didn't mess up. Our internet was going down, so I just couldn't give you the news. So I'm going to redo it this time. Hopefully no more slip-ups. Hopefully our Wi-Fi stays up. I'm seeing like a 1 bar, so fingers crossed we stay going. But yeah, but it's been a long, fun day today. Got a lot done. What did I do? I got my trip set for Vegas. So yes, I will be down at the Bitcoin Bankruptcy Club Vegas next week. So I'll be hanging out at that club location. If you want to come meet me, schedule an appointment, and I can help you out with whatever crypto need you need. So I'll be down there next week, as well as after Vegas, head over to California for the weekend. It is my pop's 60th birthday. This is Bio Dad. So got to make a quick Cali trip to go say happy birthday and spend the day with him. And then I'll be back here in Sarasota. So Sherpa's not leaving Florida, but he'll be right back. But speaking of birthdays, guess who else celebrated a birthday today? It is Litecoin. It celebrates its 13th year, and it leads global crypto payments out there. So I am going to be covering that article later on. But let's start off with the news. I've missed on a lot. Probably some of you already heard about the Nobel Peace Prize winner is a Bitcoiner. So we got to cover that article in the first video, which I deleted already. So if you watched it, kudos. But let us go on. Let's see what's going on in the crypto space. I think I started off also talking about hopefully you didn't get so fearful this weekend and sold some Bitcoin. You should have bought the dip because hey. But it was crazy, though. $20,000 dip right there. But Michael Saylor said, don't stop believing. He was, in a post just hinting at, he's probably going to be making a purchase. And what do you know? We got word today he did. He bought another 220 Bitcoin. So, yep, he had nothing to fear, and he was just letting the community know, yep, don't stop believing. But that was, when did that get posted? That was October 12th. So this was yesterday. So Bitcoin already kind of recovered at that point. But Michael Saylor's company wasn't the only one that bought more Bitcoin. Also, Bitcoin miner María holding bought 400 Bitcoin worth $46 million, bringing its total now to 53,250 Bitcoin, well worth over $6 billion. But also, I don't care about that $6 billion part. I care about there is this much Bitcoin now off of the market. It's in their treasury. It's in their holdings. They ain't selling because they know where Bitcoin's heading for the future. It doesn't matter if it's 10 years from now, 20 years from now. They know the future, and they're building their company to be just well positioned for when the future hits us, and it's going to hit us very, very fast. So yeah, so that is basically the quick little tidbit news going on Twitter. But let's go over the Nobel Peace Prize winner, who is a Bitcoiner. So yes, article comes from Bitcoin Magazine, and Corina Machado wins the Nobel Peace Prize. Could she become the first Bitcoin Nobel winner? Well, obviously she is if she won, because she already is a Bitcoiner. But the Venezuelan opposition leader and pro-Bitcoin advocate María Corina Machado won the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize for her fight for democracy. Now, Venezuelan's opposition leader María Corina Machado has been awarded the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, recognized for what the Norwegian Nobel Committee called her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela. Now, but for many in the Bitcoin community, the win carries another layer of meaning, because Machado isn't just a democracy activist. She's also one of a few but growing global political figures who has openly embraced Bitcoin as a tool of resistance against authoritarianism. So the Nobel Committee described Machado, who is 58, as a woman who keeps the flame of the democracy going amidst a growing darkness. Now, in its description, that fits not just her fight against the current regime, but her larger vision of how technology and decentralized money can empower citizens when governments fail them. Now, she said in a post in a video, "I am in shock," Machado said. "After the announcement, I am just one person. I certainly do not deserve this. I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to the President Trump for his decisive support for our cause," she wrote on X. Now, a recognition for courage and for staying. Machado's political story is one of persistence under threat. Barred from running in the last year's presidential election, which international observers, while they dismissed as rigged, she was forced into hiding, but she refused to leave Venezuela. The Nobel Committee praised her as a key unifying figure in a brutal authoritarian state that is now suffering a humanitarian and economic crisis. Now, that crisis is something Machado has long tried to explain in global forums, Venezuela's economic collapse, she argues, was not an accident but a predictable outcome of the financial repression and state control of money. And it's here that her views intersect directly with Bitcoin. Now, Machado says Bitcoin is a lifeline. In an interview first aired by Bitcoin Magazine last year, Machado spoke at length about Venezuela's economic collapse and the role Bitcoin has played in helping citizens survive it. The Venezuelan bolivar has lost 14 zeros, she said, recalling how inflation once hit 1.71 or 1.7 million %. Now, that's a crazy amount of inflation where that value just goes away. So this was a financial repression rooted in a state-sponsored looting, theft, and unchecked money printing. It just has destroyed our economy despite our vast oil wealth, she said. But for many Venezuelans, Bitcoin became the only alternative. It has allowed families to store value outside the collapsing bolivar. It's received remittances without confiscation and even funds their escapes from the country if they need it. So Machado called Bitcoin a lifeline for Venezuelans. It's a way to bypass government-controlled exchange rates. She proposed including Bitcoin in Venezuela's future national reserves as the country seeks to recover its stolen wealth and rebuild from the dictatorship. Now, Machado also proposed including Bitcoin in Venezuela's future national reserve as part of the country's post-dictatorship recovery. So hopefully she gets elected president so she can enact that. But she said that we envision Bitcoin as part of our national reserves, helping rebuild what the dictatorship stole, she told Bitcoin Magazine. Now, Machado's emphasis on transparency echoes one of Bitcoin's core principles, a public ledger that is incorruptible by design. It's an idea that resonates with freedom and justice. And so bravo, Machado. So that this is a true Bitcoiner who understands that Bitcoin is also a lifeline. It can help people. Like, it doesn't matter where you're at right now. Like, you could be living like me. I'm living a pretty decent lifestyle. You could be living somewhere else. But other than Venezuela, it's like, it's just a dictatorship going on over there, an economic collapse. But she stayed and realized, and she knows that this can help the citizens, the people. Again, like we heard, it can help them receive money without getting their remittances confiscated. They can, what else can they do with it? It was, it's on the tip of my tongue. I literally just read it. What else can they do with it? So escape confiscation. It's also a way to escape the country. That was it. So it's a way for them to escape what they're living right there. So so bravo to her winning that Nobel Peace Prize, and especially just for sticking through it all, actually living there in Venezuela as well, not leaving. She's stuck with it. So bravo. But so let's continue on with news. What else do I have for you? Let's see. It looks like there's still some controversy over the Bitcoin Core v3.0 update, which I think is going live right now. So let's go over this article. So Bitcoin's Core v3.0 goes live with controversial OP_return change. Now, Bitcoin Core launched its major v3.0 update on Saturday, with the community split over its drastic increase to the OP_return data limit. So Bitcoin Core's developers saw a mixed reaction from the Bitcoin community as they announced the release of their v30 update, bringing forward a host of node-related changes to its architecture, its performance, and its security. Now, the key changes brought forward in Bitcoin's Core 30.0 are the introduction of optional encrypted connections between nodes for better privacy and the increase of the OP_return data limit with Bitcoin's core software, now from 80 to 100,000 bytes, enabling a significantly larger amount of non-financial data to be embedded in Bitcoin transactions. Now, with the release of this new major version, version 27.x and older are at an end of a life and will no longer receive updates. Sunday's announcement reads. So this is the not policy change. Everything is in there. I'm pretty sure it just hyphenates it. That's where I froze last time. So now this is all new news still to me. Now, what the update also included was bug fixes, performance improvements, and changes to fee rates. Now, the biggest issue to stir debate in the community is the increase of the OP_return limit. So such a huge shift in the data limit enables the development of more sophisticated and data-hungry decentralized applications on the network. So more of it can happen, but we saw what it can do if too much goes in there. It just slows the network down. But this has angered Bitcoin purists who argue that the network should be used only for financial transactions. And that's it. Bitcoin's just a currency. It doesn't need anything else to be built on. Like, literally, like that's why we have Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, and some other chains out there. But like, those are the ones to build on, not Bitcoin. Its purpose was actually being a purely peer-to-peer digital currency. That's what it should stick to and not need any more updates to it. And I kind of agree with that. So I think I changed maybe my views on that. Maybe I did. But let's continue on. So here is a post on X about the Bitcoin Core v30.0 release. And Oxhawk commented, Bitcoin's Core v30 is a mistake. Removing the OP_return limit opens the door to endless junk data, inscriptions, and fee spikes that punish regular users. Now, Bitcoin's strength is its minimalism, not turning the base layer into a playground for experiments. I think I just said that too. Now, new block size wars. While this wasn't a protocol change, the current debate sparks memories of the block size wars of 2017, which ultimately led to a Bitcoin hard fork into Bitcoin Cash. Now, some see the update as a good thing, such as Arc Labs ecosystem lead Alex Burgoyne, who said via X on Friday that he intends to use all of the additional OP_return space and will use it to make Bitcoin more like Ethereum, except better. So Jameson Loop, here is that post. He said specifically, the Bitcoin Core v30 release is a result of code contributions from 101 different individuals. Myself slipped in a small network change to prevent your node from attempting to connect to peers via ports commonly used by popular software like MySQL, MongoDB, and PostgreSQL. Now, while Satoshi Labs co-founder Pavel Resnick also stated yesterday that he was opting for Bitcoin Core v30 due to having a great development team, peer-reviewed code, and sane engineering decisions. And here is his post running Bitcoin's core. And Kagaso Katan, hey there, can you point me to one of two arguments/accounts in support of v30 that you revere? I'm mostly heard pro-Knots argument, just want to steal man things. And he said great development team, peer-reviewed code, sane engineering decision, etc. So that's what he believes in it, like he's okay with it. Now, others were not so optimistic, arguing that it goes against Bitcoin's fundamental principles of just being a peer-to-peer electronic cash system and could lead to blockchain bloat. It could also lead to increased node operations, cost, and legal issues. So one workaround that a significant number of node operators have already been utilizing is the alternative node software known as NOTS. So the NOTS is what you hear a lot, as it enables them to enforce strict data size limits, such as 80 bytes on a transaction. As a hopefully temporary measure, run NOTS I strongly recommend, and not upgrading to Core v30, noted pioneer cryptographer Nick Szabo via an X last week. Now, earlier this month, Szabo raised concerns about the legal implications of the data limit increase, as node operators run the risk of hosting illegal data, without adding safeguards to allow archival node operators to non-disruptively delete illegal content for which they will often be held criminally liable for. And he posted that on X on October 2nd. Now, the founder of NOTS, Luke Dash Jr., has not commented on the update since it went live. However, he has been critical of the latest Bitcoin Core update. Now, data shows that a significant number of node operators are utilizing NOTS software with data from Bitref, indicating that there are currently 5,114 NOTS nodes, representing 21.48% of all Bitcoin nodes out there. So are we going to see a shift going from more people mining with NOTS software versus the core? Maybe. I think that's what we're using with our mining pool. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I think that's what Jay said. You can't quote me on that. Like, I don't know much about that side, but if you want more information about our programs with the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, go to bitcoinben.io or give us a call or text at this number, 941-413-8080. But no, Bitcoin mining does rely on this. But where do I stand on this? It's like, some are saying it's cool because the developers from the lead core of the Bitcoin blockchain and all that stuff, but I think I'm more favoring still again towards the, like, just leave it alone. Bitcoin's just meant to be a currency. We don't need junk to be built on in it anymore. So just leave that for Ethereum and all the other chains, because yeah, that's how I see it. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments below. But let's continue on with the news. What other Bitcoin news do we have for you? I guess Steak and Shake quickly made a U-turn as Ether poll angers Bitcoiners out there. So yeah, there was a poll out there with Steak and Shake saying, should we accept Ethereum as a payment? And Bitcoin slammed its poll asking community if it should. But again, like it really shouldn't. Like I was saying with the last article, it's like Bitcoin's just meant to be a currency. Let that be a thing. Ethereum, it wasn't meant to be a currency. It was meant to be built upon it. So again, each coin or token out there has its own purpose, and if it's if it's an actual utility and it's actually useful, then yeah, those are the coins I like to look for when I invest into the cryptocurrencies out there. But yeah, I guess it got turned around. I heard Miss Team Crypto argue about it, saying no, you shouldn't let the Bitcoiners do all that. But I think it was a good call. Let Bitcoin be a currency. Let Ethereum be a platform you build on. But let's hear about this article and actually go through it. So Steak and Shake quickly retracted the idea of accepting Ether, or I hate when they spell it like that, Ethereum, as a payment after Bitcoiners slammed its poll asking the community if it should. So look at that war, lightsaber duel. But Steak and Shake has reversed course on potential plan to accept Ethereum payments after several Bitcoiners balked at the idea of the fast food chain expanding beyond Bitcoin. Now, Steak and Shake asked its 468,800 X followers whether it should accept Ethereum on Saturday, promising to abide by the results of the poll. Now, the poll saw a 53% vote saying yes, do it, but the fast food chain suspended it around 4 hours later due to backlash. So the poll suspended our allegiances with Bitcoiners. You have spoken, it said on X. So let's see, where's that post? So posted right. Oh yeah, this is the post exactly is what it said. So yeah, the poll has been suspended, guys. Our allegiances with Bitcoiners. You have spoken. Who even allowed this? I'm back at my desk. So this was a quick turnaround. That totally sounds like oh, let's cover ourselves, guys. But hey, they're showing their allegiance to Bitcoin, and I'm always cool with that. I love Bitcoin. But Steak and Shake started accepting Bitcoin as a payment back on May 16th, and all of its locations were permitted by law, including the US, France, Monaco, and Spain. Now, in the third quarter, Steak and Shake announced that same-store sales rose by 15% year-on-year, partially attributing to the rise to Bitcoiners supporting the chain. So it made sense as several Bitcoiners criticized Steak and Shake for even considering expanding its crypto payment option beyond just Bitcoin. And they said, I promise, if you accept Ethereum, I will never eat at your restaurant again, said Adam Semeka, builder of Bitcoin self-custody wallet Mana. So the fact you even created the ETH poll is disappointed, added a user named Colleen, also known as the Bitcoin Gal, while Bitcoin developer Carmen was one of many who said the poll harmed Steak and Shake's reputation. So many Bitcoiners lashed out against them. So they kind of did have to. Now, it's a reminder that Bitcoin and crypto tribalism still remain alive and well. Many Bitcoiners view Bitcoin as the best form of money. Michael Saylor once famously said there is no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset and it's called Bitcoin. Now, Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum side, he defends Steak and Shake's decision. So while some have criticized Steak and Shake's quick change of heart, interestingly, the decision was praised by one of the biggest names in Ethereum community, Vitalik Buterin, who suggested that the crypto-adopted business should stick to a crypto tribe instead of trying to appeal to as many customers as possible. And he said, we need the stubborn ones to believe in their cause and their tribe and see their work as a labor of love to it. Now, last week, Steak and Shake also announced that it's launching the Bitcoin Steak Burger on October 16th to celebrate the company's adoption of Bitcoin. So that's in 3 days. What is that on Thursday? Oh, so I know what I'm getting for lunch. I'm going to get me a Bitcoin Steak Burger, and I want to pay using my Lightning wallet in Bitcoin. So yeah, so that's what was going online with a little ruffle going with Steak and Shake in the Bitcoin community. And again, yeah, let Bitcoin maxis have their thing. I feel like I kind of sway towards the Bitcoin maxi side, but not fully, because again, I like all the other altcoins too. I know Bitcoin's purpose is a cryptocurrency, or is just a currency. It shouldn't do anything else. Let the other coins with their utilities, that's what they're built for. Ethereum for projects being built on, Theta started off as a decentralized video stream, peer-to-peer video streaming platform. Then it got into AI, and now that's getting even huge. And then yes, AI, that's another thing. You got AI, you got gaming, you got decentralized exchange. Like there's utilities and purposes for each thing. So let Bitcoin just stay where you're at, and that's what I truly agree on. But yeah, so that's what was going on with Steak and Shake. That's what's going on with the Nobel Peace Prize winner being a Bitcoiner, and the arguments between the Bitcoin core updates of V30 versus just using knots. So let's take a quick commercial break right now so I can take a little breather, take a sip of my seltzer water, and we will be right back after these messages.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine, Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
And we're back. So yeah, let's see. What else do I got for you? What else is going on in the crypto space? I've been talking about Bitcoin for the first part. That's how I always like doing these shows. I always cover the Twitter news, what's going on there, leading into all the Bitcoin news. And now let's hit the altcoin space. What's going on there? But first, more Twitter news. We got $2 trillion banking giant Citibank just announced to launch Bitcoin and crypto custody in 2026. This is massive. So how are they going to custody it? I don't know. We're going to have to find out. Are they going to actually custody it, or are they going to have just some third party? Like unlike our bank that we got, credit union we got down in El Salvador, which is going to be labeled Private Key Capital. It is going to be fully Bitcoin-backed bank, and you get your own wallet and private key with it. So this is great for America and everything, but these guys are going to be way behind us in just like crypto custody and just also just being a Bitcoin-backed bank. So, well, this is bullish news for at least just more people being able to hold it. Just an easy transition from the old system going to the new one. So you will eventually have Bitcoin in your bank account. Other Twitter news, ruler of Dubai, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, says Dubai is now leading as the world's largest licensed virtual assets market. So a complete new economic sector has been added to our national economy. So yeah, the sheiks in Dubai they're all for crypto. Dubai has been a really big like crypto hub. Like they've been part of the first ones adopted. And definitely in my time of learning and reading the news, it's like they were the first ones like really adopted, put some regulations in place, and yeah, now they're the largest licensed virtual assets market because all the countries need the regulations, and that's why they have these licenses, these virtual license that they get exchanges and banks to abide by. But way to go, Dubai. Now let's talk about Litecoin's birthday. I talked about it. I love Litecoin. It's literally Bitcoin's little brother. It's like I think Bitcoin's digital gold. I think Litecoin's the digital silver, and it will have its moment to shine. Like this is right now, it's all Bitcoin. Let Bitcoin and altcoins have their whole space. Litecoin will have a nice little pump with, I believe. Altcoins will have a dip. This is what I'm speculating. I'm thinking that could happen, and then maybe the next round, Litecoin will have its moment. But I am definitely a holder and believer in Litecoin. But let's celebrate its 13 years of being around. So Litecoin has reached a milestone, marking 13 years given that its inception over the years. It has come to be one of the top cryptocurrency charge techniques, even surpassing Bitcoin and Ethereum in some regions. So happy birthday, LTC. So in 2024 alone, Litecoin processed more than 77 million transactions, cementing its role as a pace setter in bills, surpassing Bitcoin as a top payment choice. Now, recent data from BitPay suggests that Litecoin makes up a sturdy 37% of all crypto payments, making it the top preference for transactions. Now, appeal is speed and exception, and transaction fees making it the best for individual customers in groups seeking out less costly online payments. Now, the current Litecoin transaction fee is as low as it's under a penny, so 0.0034 cents, which is about 0.00052 LTC. Now, the current price of Litecoin is $65.89. Wait, is that right? Hold on, I gotta double check that. I thought Litecoin was up. Well, let's find where you're at. Litecoin is currently at $101. That's my guy, and it had a dip too with last week as well. But it was holding at 134. Dang, Litecoin's that coin I sit and forget about it. So I wasn't even paying attention to that price movement. Last time I checked, it was at that $65 mark. But it is representing a 0.5% growth inside its ultimate 24-hour place. But the latest partnership further boosts Litecoin's adoption, which was PayPal, and how it has expanded its crypto offerings to the U.S. business money owed, allowing trade to exchange and keep Litecoin. And additionally, MoneyGram is now available in the U.S. as well. Now, wait, was that the entire article? Well, it wasn't really an article. It was just a nod and a happy birthday Litecoin. So how to give it its nod. We got a little brief history about it. But yeah, so way to go, Litecoin. Yeah, I got to tell you my little thoughts on this coin. So if you got Litecoin, awesome. If you want to get some, just know that was my thoughts on it. I think it'll have its moment to shine. Maybe not this moment, but I think it could do what Bitcoin did in the past. So that's just what I'm saying. Is it going to be a 1/1/4 ratio? I don't know, but that's just what they say out there. It's kind of like XRP going to $1,000. You got to have a dream, right? All right, let's continue on with the news. Looks like BitMine adds over 200,000 Ethereum in aggressive post-crash weekend buying. Now, BitMine's Tom Lee saw the market crash as a discount buying opportunity, acquiring over $827 million worth of Ethereum over the weekend. So BitMine, the world's largest corporate holder of Ethereum, capitalized on this weekend's crypto market crash to buy the dip, signaling more institutional confidence in Ethereum's continued momentum. Now, the company said it acquired Ethereum more aggressively during the market turmoil, pushing its total holdings past 3 million Ethereum, or about 2.5% of the cryptocurrency's total supply. Now, BitMine's average purchase price was around $4,154 per token. Now, over the past few days, BitMine acquired 202,037 Ethereum tokens worth about $827 million. The company said this on a Monday X post. Now, that brought BitMine's total holdings to $13.4 billion, which includes $12.9 billion in crypto and moonshot holdings, 192 Bitcoin, $104 million in cash, and $135 million stake in NASDAQ-listed technology company 8Co Holdings. And here is BitMine disclosing and sharing that information on X. Now, BitMine's aggressive buying may influence other corporate crypto treasuries to adopt similar long-term accumulation strategies. Now, BitMine's acquisition came as the cryptocurrency market experienced a drastic correction on Friday, which led to $19 billion in liquidations, which happened over the weekend. So that's why we saw that dip in all markets, not just Litecoin. It was also mainly Bitcoin as well was the big one. There was that big dip. So yeah, so that's what was going on there. But BitMine accelerates Ethereum's accumulation plan. So the latest purchase brings BitMine's halfway toward fully to fulfilling its treasury. So it's hoping to hold 5% of Ethereum supply in total, if they're accurate in saying they own 2.5% right now. But the crypto liquidation over the past few days created a price decline in Ethereum, which BitMine took advantage of, said Tom Lee, the chairman of BitMine and head of research at Fundstrat. He said, "We are now more than halfway towards our initial pursuit of the alchemy of 5% of ETH. Now, volatility creates deleveraging, and this can cause assets to trade at substantial discounts to the fundamentals, or as we say, substantial discounts to the future. And this creates advantages for investors at the expense of traders," Lee added. Now, BitMine stock is also gaining interest among traditional investors out there. Looks like they are up, no, it doesn't give me a percentage, but looks like they are number 22 on the chart. But BMR was the 22nd most widely traded stock on the US markets based on its average 5-day trading volume of over $3.5 billion as of Friday. Still, Bitmain's stock price fell 11% over the past 5 days, according to Google Finance data. Now, the decline occurred days after Kirisdale Capital took a short position on BMNR on Wednesday after criticizing the company's business model for being on its way to extinction. So, here's another company who's like betting big in the crypto space and having it on their reserves and in their treasury. So outside of people having a Bitcoin treasury, Bitmain is doing an Ethereum treasury and very aggressive. So there are many companies out there. Some are doing it in Solana. I think I even heard someone doing it in Dodge, which I don't know why. But yeah, so there is many companies doing this, but Bitmain took advantage of the dip, and hopefully you guys did too when the price went lower. Now, what else is in the news? Let's see. I got some Ripple news for you. So it's going to affect the XRP community. So Ripple teams up with Immunify to boost its XRPL lending protocol. So this is bullish news for XRP holders out there. So Ripple collaborates with Immunify to engage security experts globally for the XRPL lending protocol. It's bullish because it's just more things being built on XRP's blockchain and ledger. And so just more opportunities for inflow to happen and people to use it. So I'm not a hater on XRP. I just don't like the Ripple guys. But Ripple and Immunify have announced a strategic collaboration to boost the security of the XRP ledger lending protocol. In a broader push to position it as an institutional-grade settlement layer, the partnership was unveiled on October 13th and introduces an attackathon designed to stress test the proposed XRPL lending protocol ahead of its expected validator vote later this year. Now, through the initiative, the top-tier Web3 security researchers from around the world are invited to identify vulnerabilities in the protocol, competing for a $200,000 prize pool. Now, XRPL goes institutional. So according to the official press release shared with Crypto Potato, in addition to the bug hunting competition, Academy will provide participants with targeted training on XRPL technology running from October 13th to November 29th. So that began today. The XRPL lending protocol itself represents a major step in Ripple's enterprise-focused blockchain strategy, offering pooled lending and unwritten credit natively on the XRPL. The system is designed to automate the full loan life cycle from insurance to repayment, while linking borrowers to global liquidity sources and enabling lenders to earn yield on idle assets. Now, by integrating with existing risk of compliance processes, the protocol aims to improve transparency, efficiency, and accessibility in credit markets. Now, in a statement from Jasmine Cooper, head of product at RippleX, said that XRPL was designed to support secure real-world financial applications, and that's especially important as lending is introduced to the network. Now, this initiative is about making sure the proposed lending protocol is thoroughly tested and resilient before launch, so developers and institutions can build with confidence. Partnering with Immunify allows us to work with some of the top security researchers to help strengthen the new layer of XRPL's DeFi infrastructure. So it's making it stronger, which is nice. Now, XRPL sees strong September activity. September 2025 was a busy month for XRPL's ecosystem, with product improvements and compliance milestones and community growth. As reported by Crypto Potato, self-custody cryptocurrency wallet Joey Wallet simplified onboarding, integrating MoonPay, First Ledger, and XRP Cafe, while XRP Scan introduced an amendment voting timeline for transparency in the validator decisions. Now, Zaman Wallet 4.2.1 removed trust line requirements and allowed seamless token transfers and MoonPay cell integrations for full fiat to XRP flows. Now, on compliance, the credentials amended went live, enabling decentralized on-chain identity verification for regulated interactions. DeFi and gaming also saw progress. GameChain went live on testnet through XRPL and Commons partnership. And the XRPL Commons Aquarium residency welcomed builders from 11 countries. So that's what's going on with XRP. They teamed up with Immunify to boost their lending protocol, and they're going to be stress testing it like no other. Because again, when you launch a product, you want to be sure there is no vulnerability, especially when it comes to lending. You don't want anybody to be able to make their way in there and just liquefy all the holdings in their own wallet. So kudos to Ripple for, even though I don't like you, kudos on you for at least using the best guys in their research to be able to test this and stress test it. So we'll see how this turns out, and I will keep you guys informed on what goes on. Now let's talk about Aster, the BNB, what was this, Perpetual Futures Exchange? Something on Binance, but it looks like their airdrop is being delayed due to data inconsistencies with token allocation. So if you're looking for this airdrop, it's going to be delayed, and let's find out how long. Decentralized Perps Exchange, Aster, has delayed its airdrop due to issues around the token allocations following complaints from users. So, multi-chain decentralized exchange Aster has delayed its airdrop due to what it has identified as potential data inconsistencies affecting certain users with Aster allocation. Now, it is now targeted for an October 20th date for the token drop to users, less than a week delays from the original October 14th date. So hold your pants on tight. At least it's not taking forever. So usually that sucks when they go, oh, so we got some issues. It's going to be TBD, to be determined. Now, that's the worst because you have no idea then when it's going to come out. Or it's we're going to push this back half a year. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so long. So luckily, it's just 1 week delay, guys. So, yeah, so I don't know any sayings to go with that. Let's continue. So Aster's announcement said that that for most users, any updated figures should not be lower than what they have already been shown. Allocation numbers will be updated in the coming days. Now, meanwhile, the Aster token has climbed nearly 3% on the day to its $1.75 price, sitting just shy of $3 billion market capitalization, which makes it the 54th largest cryptocurrency, according to CoinGecko. Now, despite Friday's upswing, which comes amid losses across much of the crypto market, predictors on Murad Markets believe it is 85% unlikely that Aster will hit $4 before November. Now, disclosure, Murad Markets is developed by Decrypt's parent company, Dastan. Now, based on community feedback, we identified potential data inconsistencies affecting certain users. Now, the Aster allocation for most users, allocation should not fall below the final snapshot, the RH%, in each epoch. We are reviewing the issue and will update allocations where needed. And that was tweeted from Aster_Dex on October 10th. Now, Aster is a decentralized exchange specializing in perpetual futures with leverage of up to 1001x operating on Solana, Ethereum, Arbitron, and the BNB chain. The project is backed by Yeezy Labs and the crypto investment firm of Changpeng Zhao, or otherwise known as CZ, who co-founded Binance. Now, the airdrop delay comes just hours after the S2 airdrop checker went live, for which Aster said 153,932 wallets are qualified for a token allocation. After posting the checker, Aster was flooded on social media with disappointed customers claiming their allocation had been miscalculated. So they said, I hope this calculation is wrong. Almost $9 million volume is only 336 tokens. One ex-user said, I believe it's wrong. I saw people who had made half of these points with more Aster and people with the current share smaller than mine. So the airdrop amount was calculated based on multiple factors from stage 2 activities, including your trading volume, holding duration, Aster assets as ASBNB or USDF, realized profit and loss, and referral or team contributions across different epochs. Now, all eligible user points were then proportionally converted into their final airdrop allocation. The Aster X account replied. Now, a matter of hours later, Aster confirmed that there had been inconsistencies with the calculation and delayed the airdrop, targeting a later date, which is now, again, October 20th. I believe that was correct. Did I say that correct? Yep. On October 20th is going to be when the new drop is, not October 14th, which would have happened tomorrow. So that is the Aster airdrop news being delayed. Let's go on to our final news article of the evening, since it's not the afternoon anymore. I still got so much more work to do after this. But it looks like hackers strike again. $21 million stablecoin loot moves to the Ethereum network. So let's see what these scammers did to steal this money. So a large stablecoin theft hit the crypto space on October 10th, 2025, when an attacker drained a single user wallet and moved the proceeds onto Ethereum. Now, based on reports, the loss is about $21 million, and the event has drawn fresh attention to how one leaked secret can wipe out millions. So stablecoins key details of the theft. Now, according to chain trackers and security feeds, the affected address shown on Explorer as OXOCDC with the last four digits E955 lost roughly $21 million in stablecoins. Reports place about 17.75 million DAI among the stolen assets and about 3.11 million of the second stablecoin that some trackers list as misrep USDP. Now, security firms including PeckShield flagged the incident as a private key leak, meaning the attacker gained direct control of the wallet's signing key and moved funds without breaking a platform's code. So here's PeckShield's tweet. So PeckShield at victim without wallet lost 21 million. The hacker has bridged the stolen funds to Ethereum, including the DAI and the misrepped USDP token. Now, how did the attacker appear to have happened, or how the attack appears to have happened? Well, based on reports, this was not a smart contract flaw or a bridge bug. The stablecoin's wallet secret key was exposed or taken, and once that happened, transfers could be signed and broadcast instantly. So some of the moves were rapid. Large sum transfers were routed through one or more cross-chain bridges before finally arriving on Ethereum, where funds were then shifted across multiple addresses, and then the routing made tracing harder, but chain monitors follow many of the hops. Now, this again just shows you for why it's important to keep your seed phrase private and not digital. So like, who knows if he had a digital copy, kept it in his notepad on his iPhone, or took a screenshot of it and saved it to the cloud. It's like you never keep a digital copy or have that in any view of cameras. I know we're surrounded by cameras nowadays, but that seed phrase should be just written down, and then no camera view or any digital form of it should ever hit the digital space at all. But this is so with this hack, nothing was broken. There was no vulnerability anywhere. It was just the victim, he exposed his private key, the hacker got his private key somehow. So either he exposed it, got taken, lost it, dropped it. This is the user's fault. So that's why it's important that we got to keep our seed phrases safe in a place we know we will not forget, and we just do not touch it, and only on 2 occasions. You forgot the password again to your actual wallet, or your wallet's device broke, and then you got a new one, and then you need to recover all those assets to the new device. Those are the only 2 times, so it's really a sit it and forget it thing. But this is why it's so important to keep your seed phrase safe and never keep any digital copy of it at all, or your private key. They're pretty much the same thing. But where the money traveled, tracing shows that the stolen stablecoins cross-chained and then were shuffled on Ethereum. Observers noted that tokens labeled in Explorers did not always match the contract name, which can confuse quick summaries. So using contract address is the only precise way to follow funds on chain. Reports say the thief used bridges to obscure the origin and then moved assets between a number of addresses, a step which complicates recovery efforts if the funds are not deposited to a centralized service. Now, gaps in the public records. Reports have disclosed that several outlets republished the same initial feed from chain security groups, and no public identity for the actor has emerged. Numbers vary slightly across trackers, which is common when tokens are wrapped, rebranded, and shown differently by different explorers. And security analysis points to the broader figure showing over $1 billion in losses tied to a private key and credential-based incident in the recent years, underlying just how common and costly these events still remain to happen. So again, do you say this last year? $1 billion tied to private key incident recent years. Okay, so over the years, $1 billion have been basically stolen because users didn't keep their seed phrase or private keys safe. So again, like I said, we learn from these people's mistakes. We know how it happened. So it wasn't a hack, wasn't a vulnerability. It just shows you the importance of why it's important for us to take control of our money, but be responsible for it too. So your private key is everything in the crypto space. Whoever has control of it has your crypto. So keep it in a safe place, never keep a digital copy of it, and you should be good. So that is it for the news, guys. I always hate to leave it on the bummer news when there's those scam articles out there, but they do happen, and we do need to be aware of them, so that way we do not fall for them. But it looks like let's take a look at the Fear and Greed Index. Looks like we are at a neutral right now, so we're not in extreme fear. But again, when we're in extreme fear or fear territory, it's always a good time to buy. But when we're greedy, market could be due for a correction, which we saw did take place. Now, Bitcoin's current price is saying at $115,291. Ethereum's at $4,247. Binance is at 1,293, and XRP is at $2.60. So yeah, that is the crypto news for you guys. Thank you for being here this evening. Sorry again for the earlier show. Just again, can't control the internet. Well, actually, I gotta call the guys to fix the internet because we pay good money. We should have some solid internet here at the club. So yeah, so sorry again for the noon. I will be back tomorrow with current events happening at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So everyone have an awesome evening, and I will see you tomorrow with more crypto news. Peace. Love you guys.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.